It's a little village.
Yes, very good. And describe this village.
It's got little European style houses on top of each other.
And describe these houses.
They have tiled roofs, brown, white walls or beige walls,
Yes.
stone feature.
Anything else you can see besides these houses?
I see a carriage,
Yes. Describe this carriage. What does it look like?
1-horse carriage. It's got some hay on it.
Where are you in relation to the carriage?
I'm looking at it.
Do you feel familiar in this place?
I do.
How do you know this place?
I was a part of this town once.
Yes, very good. How do you feel being here?
I don't mind being here.
I'd like to look down at your feet. What's the first thing that you notice?
Cobblestones.
What do your feet look like?
I have brown shoes on.
Are you wearing anything on your body?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Pair of brown pants. And this blue type jersey.
Are you
and a
male or female
hat.
in this body?
Male.
Are you young or old in this body?
Maybe about 40.
Are you healthy or unhealthy in this body?
I feel healthy.
Are you carrying anything on you?
A sword.
Why do you need a sword?
Part of the job.
What job do you do? Or what do you do with the majority of your time?
I check up on everyone.
In
I
which
collect
way?
things. I'm a debt collector.
Tell me about that job. How does that work?
I knock on the doors, make sure they pay me.
Why would they need to pay you?
Well, if they want to live there, they need to pay me.
Is it a kind of taxes situation or how does it work?
Yes, it's like taxes.
How do you feel about that job?
It's okay, I don't enjoy it.
Why not?
Well, some of the people here can't afford to pay these taxes.
Why do they need to pay taxes in the first place?
Well, this is whole government system, yeah, you know. Gosh. We need them to pay the taxes so we can afford to, I don't know, live.
Yes, and how do the people feel about you and this job that you do?
Well, they don't like me, obviously.
Mm.
It's not like I have a choice in the matter.
But did you not choose this job?
It's all that was there. Have to do it.
What do they call you in this life? You can hear your name.
James.
Yes, very good. Are you wearing any jewelry or embellishments?
No.
And you said you were wearing a hat, right?
A hat with a feather.
What does the feather represent?
It shows them that I have higher authority in the town, that I'm here.
What kind of hats do the other people wear, if they wear any?
Brown hats.
But they don't have feathers.
No.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's find out what you're doing here. On this day, you can progress the scene and tell me more.
Well, I'm walking in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are busy farming. It's a nice little farm village.
Mm-hmm.
I feel quite hungry, so I want to go stop by to get some bread, fresh
Yes.
bread.
Are you able to find this?
Yes, there's a local baker.
Mm-hmm.
Always has the best fresh bread for us.
And you have to pay for this, obviously, right?
I don't pay for it
Why is that?
because they know me.
In which sense?
Well, if I don't pay for the bread or lunch or accommodation, I'll let the taxes slide.
Okay. So you kind of have like a free reign in this town, it seems.
Yes.
Do you live in this town or where do you spend?
No. My home is across the sea on the other side. It's more city-like.
Is it still the same country or is it a different country?
It's the same country.
Okay. And
It's
if you
just
look,
faster coming by sea than by horse.
okay. And if you look at the Earth or the globe, where you are will just light up. Where is it that you are right now?
Just up from Italy.
Okay, very good. Okay, so tell me more. You're saying you're going to get some bread. You don't have to pay for it.
Yes.
What happens after that?
I go sit down, look at the farmers farming the land.
How do you feel about them
I
and their
like
job?
them.
Mm-hmm.
Job is a job.
What do you mean?
We all have to do what we have to do to survive, yeah?
It does seem like it's very survival based, right?
It's calm.
In which way?
It's after the war.
Which war was this?
World War One.
So you're saying there's peace now?
For now.
Yes. Okay, very good. And what else is happening here? You're saying you're looking at these farmers?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
And they have their daughters and their wives coming to collect, whatever it is that they're farming.
Yes. And are you kind of on the job here? Are you able?
Yeah, I'm just sitting and eating, watching them. After lunch, I need to go and collect.
Okay, tell me about that collection process. How does that work?
I go to each house. There's about 15 in this town.
Yes.
Knock on the door and ask them to please pay their taxes.
And do they pay that in money or how do they pay it?
They do pay their money.
Okay. What does the money look like?
Silver coins.
Okay. And where would they have found that money?
Through trade.
For their kind of produce, right?
Correct.
And how do they receive you when they open their doors?
Some I've known for years, so they're quite happy to see me.
Mm-hmm.
They have their priorities in order.
Yes.
Others have excuses, so they tend to be a bit jittery.
Yes. And is everyone able to pay?
Most of them. Sometimes when they can't pay, I'll tell them I'll be back in a week and they better pay.
What happens if they just can't pay? If they just don't have money?
I'll report them.
What will happen to them then?
Well, the guys that are higher in charge than me will come and see them. I don't know what happens beyond that point.
Okay. Seems like quite a lot of responsibility, this job.
It is.
With huge consequences.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, and what happens after you do these rounds in the village?
Usually I head back to the other side of the country where I live.
What does that process look like?
Well, I get onto the ship. Takes us about a few days just to get to shore.
Okay. And what does it look like on the other side?
It's the hustle and bustle. No country life. Smoky chimneys.
Which do you prefer?
Definitely the country. Always gives me an excuse to get out of this crap hole.
How do you feel when you are there in the city?
Depressed, really.
Why does it depress you?
It's all money. It's all that everyone cares about. Need money, give money. And then you have homeless people on the street.
How do you
needing
feel
money.
when you see these people who have nothing?
They put themselves there, though. But I do feel a bit bad.
Yes. And how do you feel about this kind of all about money, exchange of money, give and take of money?
I'm sure we had simpler lives. This is fairly new. I think it's where we're heading.
What do you mean?
People want to control everyone through currency.
Why do you think they need that control?
I don't know.
And you feel like this is something you also want to do?
No.
How do you feel about the whole system?
It's there. It exists. I don't think we have a way out of it. So
Mm.
we just continue.
Kind of sounds like a means to an end.
Correct.
Okay, but you're saying you're on the other side now. It seems a bit depressing, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you do then?
Well, I'm walking to my house.
What does this look like? Describe it from the outside.
Well, they're all rather on top of each other, so it's a little pebble facade,
Mm.
2 windows, blue door,
And what's on the other side? What's inside the house?
nothing much.
Is
I have a
anyone in
bed.
there?
No, I live by myself.
You don't have anyone in your life.
No.
Why is that?
I think I feel that with the job that I do, maybe I don't deserve anyone, yeah.
Why is that?
I take,
Mm.
so I don't think I have anything to give, yeah.
In a
Not
relationship. How does that work?
I wouldn't know what to give them.
Mm. Do you feel like you're better at taking?
Correct. There's no emotion there.
How do you feel about emotion?
It's annoying.
In which way?
You feel things.
Yes, but it seems something we can't really get away from, is it?
I suppose we can choose what we want to feel.
Which emotions do you rather choose to feel?
Anger is one of them.
Why is that?
It's easier to maintain.
To maintain anger.
Yes.
In which way?
You get angry, you get over it, you move on.
What about when you feel grief?
It's a meaningless pain.
But we feel it nonetheless, don't we?
We do.
What do you do when you feel grief?
I try and turn it into anger.
How do you transmute that? How does that transmutation process work?
If I'm feeling grief, I'd go somewhere and try and hit some trees or just do anything to move it into anger, and out of anger, let it all out.
Okay. So how do you release your anger? You're saying you physically do it in nature.
In nature.
Any
Yes,
other
of
techniques you
course.
have to release?
Chopping up trees.
Okay. How does that work? How does that process of releasing work?
Well, to make sure that you have enough wood for winter,
Mm-hmm.
you need to chop up some trees. So we'd find a
Okay.
tree and slowly chop away at it.
Mm.
And as I chop away at it, I let go of any
Mm.
unwanted emotion that I have.
So it's kind of like a symbolic process. The more you chop, the more you release.
Yes.
Any other releasing techniques you have?
I walk.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
I just go for long walks, try to escape the darkness of what I feel the world's becoming right now.
How is it becoming darker?
For some reason, after the war,
Mm-hmm.
people just want to remain in power, regardless of how many people died.
Yes. So they didn't really learn their lesson, did they?
No,
That it's about unity and not separation.
correct.
Okay. Anything else you can do to release your anger?
No, not really.
Okay, what do you do in this house? You're saying you're inside now. What happens there?
Well, I've got a table, a little kitchen, stove.
Mm-hmm.
Make some soup sometimes. That's why I like the fresh bread from the farms. Bring it up to eat with the soup.
But you don't feel lonely being here?
It is lonely, but the noise from the city makes up for it.
Okay, so you're never really ever alone here.
No.
Okay. Anything significant in this house you can see?
I have a book.
Tell me about that book.
It says it's a Bible, but it's not in a language that I can understand it yet.
Okay. Are you able to read it?
Not fully, but I found it.
Is it a Bible?
I don't know if it is a Bible. Could be a story, but
Okay.
I found it on one of my travels.
And why is this book significant?
We tend to keep on to the treasures that we find on our travels, yeah.
Why do you treasure this book?
Perhaps it was from a town that I enjoyed being at.
What is the meaning of the book? Do you understand anything about it? Or is it more the town, the
I
connection to the
think
town?
the book was somehow managed to get to the town, but it feels that this book should be up in Africa.
Mm. Okay, very good. And why was that place so important to you?
It just has a beauty, the symbols in the book.
Mm. In which way?
It reminds me of a desert, some pyramids for some reason.
Yes. And why is that place interesting to you?
It feels like it is a place full of hidden technologies and hidden things that we don't see here.
Mm. What kinds of technologies are these?
You have your pyramids,
Mm-hmm.
they should have healing technologies.
Mm. And is this information in the book?
These symbols
Yes. And how does a pyramid heal a person?
through light.
How does the light get into the pyramid?
It's been designed in such a way that on top and on the sides it allows for certain light to come in.
Mm. I mean, does one just go into the pyramid to get healed?
Correct. Through the
Okay.
pyramid masters.
Mm. And how do you know about this information? Is it all in the book, or did you experience it firsthand?
I can see it.
Tell me about that. What do you see?
I see about 5 or 6 pyramids.
Mm-hmm. Do you see it in your mind's eye, or what? How do you?
Yes,
And you're able to kind of get these visions, or how does it work for you?
I can see it clearly.
Okay. Anything else you can see?
The Sphinx.
What is the Sphinx's function?
The Sphinx keeps a technology in it that it has kept there for a very long time.
What kind of technology?
I think when we are all ready, it will be released, but it is hidden very well
Why is it hidden?
so that we don't misuse it.
But what kind of energy would this be?
It is, let's say, the sacred symbol in the scripture to change the world as is.
Mm.
Mhm.
Why would that be hidden if everyone in the planet needs change right now?
Because it's not for everyone.
Why is that?
You have those that just simply do not want to change, they
Mm.
do not want to see. So we will not allow it to be used until we change our earth.
Yes. And who is the we that will not allow it?
All of us, whether it's light workers, star seeds,
Mm. Okay.
Pleiadians, whatever you want to call us.
Okay. But what about the people that want to change? How can they access that technology?
They need to do it through themselves.
How does that process work?
You need to come in to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to trust yourself and let go of anything that is blocking you from moving into that.
Yes, but it seems like that's one of the hardest things people can do because everyone is still stuck in childhood and in the past and not living in the present.
This is true.
Okay, any information about these pyramids or sphinxes?
They've been looked at for many years. So many people have tried to figure out how they work.
Mhm.
That's quite funny, actually,
Why is that funny?
because they want to figure out how it works for egotistic reasons,
Yeah, for power and control and
for
dominance.
power and control, and not to help and not to live.
Well, that's why the energy's been shut down, as I understand it.
Correct.
Okay, because it just can't fall in the wrong hands. Seems
No.
like the majority of human race still want to destruct and
Unfortunately.
separate. Yes. Okay. Anything else about this? Anything else significant in that scene?
Some of the pyramids are being activated,
Mm.
and soon we'll feel the effects.
Which pyramids are these?
They stand across from each other. There are about 3 or 4 pyramids.
Are those the ones in Egypt that we know of? Or
Correct.
the Great Pyramid, the one in Giza? One of those?
No, smaller ones. Out for.
Okay. Also in Egypt,
Correct.
but outside of Cairo.
Yes. We can't light something that's the main attraction now.
Why is that?
It just won't work. It will attract, it will disrupt, and
Mm.
people will get afraid.
Okay, and you're saying these other smaller, is it 4 pyramids, right?
Yes.
They will be activated.
Correct.
So should the light workers visit them in order to activate themselves?
We would suggest, although it's not always safe to travel there.
Where are they exactly? The ones in the desert, right?
Correct.
Can you see in Egypt where exactly they are?
North from the Sphinx.
And you're saying it's a little bit dangerous to get there.
You will have to find someone that you can truly trust to take you there.
And what happens if you were to go there?
You would unlock many, many technologies within yourself and carry them and bring them forth.
But does one need to go to those persons in order to activate these energies or
I
technology?
don't think so.
Okay, so one can actually just do it yourself because everyone can't go to these 4 pyramids.
Correct.
So how could people just do it themselves without having to go into some physical structure? Because we have all the power within us, don't we?
Correct.
How can people activate that?
You need to see yourself inside of a pyramid, standing inside of the white light, absorbing the light being activated within those pyramids. And that will allow for you to receive your downloads.
What kinds of downloads would these be?
Technology.
Can you maybe talk technologies for Nadine?
Yes,
What does she need to activate? Am I speaking with Nadine's higher self?
you are.
Thank you very much. So which technologies does she need to activate?
She needs to activate the heart.
Yes. Why is her heart giving her so much grief? It seems she is in grief, or what? What is going on there? It seems to be leaking.
She has a karmic debt that needs to be repaid.
What does that mean?
In past lives, she did not feel the grief or the regret of things that she had done. So she now needs to release.
But those are past lives, right?
Correct.
It's all water under the bridge.
There's karma involved.
Can you help her to release that today, or is it something she needs to hold on to?
I can.
What does that look like energetically?
It's got a big hole.
What is the ball doing?
It's floating right above her heart.
What is that doing to the heart?
I'm pulling those energies that no longer serve her.
Yes. Where is that going?
I'm releasing.
Beautiful. She doesn't have to hold on to that, right?
No.
Can you charge and activate that heart for her? What does that look like?
I'm pouring in the white light.
Mm-hmm. What's that doing to the heart?
It's allowing it to open fully.
Beautiful. What will that do for her to open the heart?
Oh, she will live an amazing life.
But will she not feel vulnerable and unsafe if her heart's open?
She should not.
Okay. How can you give her any words of encouragement or wisdom?
She needs to live her truth.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to move forward and walk through the light so that she can be fully present in her life. She needs to let go because there's nothing to fear.
But she seems to have been living an unsafe life since she was a child.
This is true.
How can she then suddenly reprogram her mind and not feel like she's unsafe?
We all have certain things that we put there for ourselves.
Catalyst almost, right?
Correct.
Well,
So she wrote out this contract.
yes.
Yet we tend to forget, and then when we get to this place, we want to, oh, I'm so scared. It's so funny.
But how can you help her to feel more protected or more safe?
She needs to know that right now she is fully within her life purpose. She is fully where she needs to be, and she is fully safe and protected by those that she has chosen.
Who are with her?
Her grandfather.
What does he help her with?
He protects her against any negative energies that might come through to try and harm her.
Yes, she says she's quite empathic. She feels the energies of others when she goes into crowded places.
Correct.
Does he help her with that?
Absolutely. He tries to put a shield over her. Sometimes there are really strong energies within crowds. Perhaps those are people that are experiencing dark nights, or those that are coming into their light. And when you enter into a crowd with two types of energies like that, it can really mess up with your own energy if you're not ready.
Yes.
So perhaps next time she goes into a crowd, she needs to ask her grandfather, who she has labeled as a spirit guide, to please put the shield over her so she can move freely into the crowded space.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of like a boundary, right? We were talking about boundaries, right? That she could just hold his hand because he is always there with her, isn't he?
Correct. And she needs to trust that he is there.
She said she was struggling with trust, though. She doesn't trust anyone, specifically men. Doesn't seem like she trusts herself either, because she just gives away her free will, gives away her power, bleeds herself dry. What can you tell her about trust?
She finds it hard to trust because she feels when she is with certain people, she can feel the energy, whether it is of good intention. So she needs to follow her gut. If it is not good intention, do not engage. If you do not feel any feeling within your gut, trust that it is with good intention.
But does she know what that feeling in the gut feels like?
I can show her.
What does that feel like?
Gut feeling.
Is there a sensation in the gut?
Correct.
Where in the gut is that?
Right over here.
Well, she said she was feeling that was kind of getting stabbed at one stage.
Oh, yes.
So is that kind of her intuition talking to her?
100%.
So how does
Very uncomfortable for her right now.
Is it on the one side or is it the whole area?
Sometimes it can be on either side.
Yes.
But majority of the time it would be a sensation within the
Okay. So if it's a
abdomen.
bad sensation, she knows it's not someone to engage with.
She will feel that sensation, not only with the gut, but throughout her body.
Yes.
And the first thought that would come, she knows.
Yes. It's uncomfortable, so she should not
Correct.
engage. Okay. She knows that now, right?
Correct.
Okay, but you're saying, does she need to feel that discomfort, or can you remove that maybe, or is that a signal for her, which is serving a purpose, right?
Unfortunately,
But
we do need
Mhm.
these signals. If we don't, we will put ourselves in very difficult situations.
Yes. So our body is actually for us. It's talking to us, giving us
Correct.
messages, right? Okay.
And you need to trust it.
Yes. Okay, but you're saying her heart, she won't have any issues with her heart going forward.
Her heart has been fully healed.
Yes.
Where it was an issue that we took care of a long time ago. She asked us to, and we did. She needs to let go.
Okay, but you're saying it's open now, right? So she can feel and give love
Correct.
better now.
Correct.
Okay, and what about the anxiety? She says she feels incredible discomfort. Why is that?
There's two parts to that anxiety. One is linked to the mind,
Yes.
not allowing to not believe every thought that comes to mind
Yes.
and be fully present. And the other anxiety is simply energy shifts within the body.
But how can she kind of all these thoughts that are coming into the mind? How can she be more discerning as to what actually serves her and doesn't? She doesn't need to allow everything in, right?
Correct. She needs to look at it as a simple story right now. Look at it from a distance and make the decision. Could this be a true story? But if it's just a story, it doesn't exist.
Okay. Can she use the gut maybe for that as well?
Yes.
All of these stories. If it feels uncomfortable in the gut, let it go.
Let it go.
Okay. Okay, anything else about her anxiety? What could she do if she feels anxious? Can you give her some step-by-step kind of guide?
She needs to spend some time on grass, to be honest. She needs that sensation just to
Yes.
ground herself, just to be part of one. She's been running around for a long time.
Yes. Juggling all these aspects. I
Correct.
also felt she was very ungrounded when I spoke to her. It will ground the charge, right?
Correct. That's one thing, but she's very good at her breathing. And she needs to just learn how to do those breathing exercises to breathe all the way through into her gut and release.
Yes. Is that what she can do with emotions as well?
Correct.
Can you tell her what to do with rage? It seems like her this parallel life she was living, there were some good techniques, chopping wood, that kind of thing. Chop away at the anger. Anything else about that?
Correct. She enjoys driving. She enjoys physical activity. So, I mean, anything of that sort. If you feel enraged, perhaps take a drive around the block, change your scenery. If you want to perhaps go play some activities, play tennis, play golf, play anything that takes her mind completely off any aggression.
Yes. And what about grief? It seems that's quite a hard one to feel as well. What should she do with that?
She needs to let go of her past traumas.
Anything specifically?
She needs to let go of what she perceives as her father has done to her.
Yes.
It was there as a lesson that she put there.
Yes.
She's just leached onto those memories, and it's not serving her. It's not serving her at all.
Is that when she got hurt?
Correct. When she got hurt,
Yes.
when things happen to her, she just needs to let it go because it no longer exists, and it does not define who she is.
Yes, that's not who she is anymore.
Correct.
And it's also not happening to her right now. She's safe now, right?
Correct.
And she's in control of her life. She has more freedom now.
Yes.
How can you help her to flush that out? Is there any technique you can give her now to release it for good, not hold on?
She needs to get to water, whether it's a stream, any form of water. I want her to write those things, those blockages, those grieving matters. She can even do it for some anger onto a piece of paper, whatever the memory is.
Yeah.
And just allow it to flow away, because that has already happened. It is no longer who she is.
Yeah. Maybe even burning it, putting it on paper, burning it and blowing it away into the air, whatever way to make it flow or go.
Correct.
Okay. And why is she seeing synchronized numbering daily over the past year, and what does she need to learn from it?
Well, she said she was open to it. She said she wants to be a part of it. But as soon as it gets a bit too real, she closes herself off and wants to know what the numbers are about.
Be careful what you wish for.
Correct. So she's able to help people in different ways. She needs to allow herself to receive the numbers and receive the messages we are trying to give her.
Well, what are the messages? She seems to not trust. She doesn't know what it actually means.
It's information we want her to pass on.
What is that?
Through her teachings.
Tell her about that.
Ultimately, she has agreed to be to teach. She has no issues with the money or the work or any of that, because our primary focus was to teach. And that's what we need her to focus on as well.
Yes. But what does she need to teach specifically?
The new way of life. She needs to help the younger generation step into their divine uniqueness. And she can only do that if she listens to us, because she's here and we are not.
Yes. But what does she need to start, like a YouTube channel, or like need to go into the schools, or how does she need to bring forward this information?
Unfortunately, with YouTube and TikTok, people don't know what to believe anymore.
Yes.
So if you had to go and put it on one of those channels, you might just fall into that category of, well, can I believe you? Or maybe I can't, because there's people that are trying to block our messages.
Yes.
Actually, one of them is a friend of Dolores Cannon.
Okay. But my channel brings forward very good information, very accurate, I would say, from the higher dimensions.
Correct.
So that's still
I'm saying there's people that are trying to block your messages by trying to discern what you are doing.
Yes.
So Nadine would have to do a more in-person learning sessions with younger groups, whether it is writing a book and then traveling to tell people about it, would be one of them. She needs to decide.
Okay, but is there any way that she can, what information must she bring forward? I mean, she still doesn't trust, for instance, the numbers. She doesn't know how to translate that information into something tangible for herself.
As soon as she has learned to release and be fully present, she needs to allow herself to meditate deeper, allow herself to do this within a safe space for herself, and she will be amazed at the messages that are waiting for her on the other side.
Well, she seems to be really good at receiving information like this.
Absolutely. That was what we agreed on. That was her life purpose, is to come here to receive these messages, because we cannot be ourselves.
So she's almost like a channel, isn't she?
Correct.
And she's channeling her higher self, is that correct?
100%.
Is there anyone specifically, any of her guides or guardians or ancestors, whatever, that would like to step forward? Because she said she saw like a Pleiadian in her dreams. Who is this?
Hi.
Yes, hi. And who are you two, Nadine?
A form of an essence to her from our planet.
Which planet is that?
We're definitely Pleiadians. I can't believe she figured it out. Or maybe she thought she figured it out.
Well, I could see on her face when she came immediately.
Yes, she knows she is. She just you know.
Okay, and what do you have any message for her today?
She needs to know that she is divinely gifted. And we have waited a long time to be able to do what we can do now for you guys.
What can you do now?
We are able to bring about a complete different change in how people perceive one another through our energies. See, we've done it. We've done it. We've been there.
Yeah.
We've done it for thousands of years.
You're a little bit ahead of us.
Correct. So, and she knows it.
Yeah.
When she walks into certain areas with her energy, when it's aligned,
Yes.
everyone just gets drawn to her. And it's amazing for us to see
Yes.
that it's working. But when she gets blocked up,
Yes.
it just fades away and we lose so much progress.
Yes.
It's crazy.
How can you help? Can you give her a message as to how she can stay more aligned so that she can bring forward this information?
She needs to step out of the mind. She needs to be able to just be fully in that moment. And she gets afraid. She gets afraid because sometimes she sees different colors and she freaks out, you know. But the moment she steps into that full energetic field that she's been gifted with, she knows that she's living her purpose because she can feel it. She can see it in the people's reactions and how they change and how they approach herself. And she's very good at resolving any tension with different energy fields between people.
But so you're saying she needs to be less in the mind. Does she need to be more in the heart?
100%.
How can you help her to connect with her heart, like in the moment when she's in that kind of experience? How should she connect with the heart and stream forth information?
When she feels that she is afraid of the heartbeat, she needs to feel it more and breathe into that heartbeat. That will allow her to just release and be present. She's been fearing it.
Yeah, she's resisting it.
Correct.
But she can be in the flow, right? Because she's a water sign as well. So if she can just feel the flow of the breath going into the heart,
yes,
that would bring forth information. Is that correct? I think normal people could also do that.
Correct.
And why is the heart so important in this aspect and not the head?
So the heart has been designed to be able to open up and allow a lot of energy to flow through both sides. All your chambers consist of allowing energy to flow to different parts of the body that activates your whole body as a beam. So you can see yourself walking as a whole beam.
Yes.
If you do it correctly.
Yes.
If you just allow those chambers to be accessed.
Yes. It's almost like a pump, right? And then the energy is coming from source, and that source is pumping through the body.
Goes straight in and it pumps. And all you need to think of or see is that light coming straight in and going. But when it's blocked, it's hard for it to move through. So it gets blocked inside as well. Doesn't know what way to go.
Yes, but you've helped her with opening the heart now, right?
Correct.
Okay, so she can feel that flow of source then better.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, is there anything else? You're saying are you parallel aspect of her?
I'm an essence.
What does that mean?
I am one of those that have put in the essence of the Pleiadian into her body.
Is that about what happened when she was 8?
Yes.
So that's the walk-in she was talking about.
Correct.
Is it kind of like the soul stream is split? Tell her more
She
about
did
that.
not take over. She had an agreement with the other soul at that time. That soul didn't want to. It was too scared. So it asked to be released in the best possible way, and we needed to get here.
Okay.
So we placed.
Okay, so the other old soul left, and the new soul, which is you,
correct,
is Pleiadian, came in.
Correct.
It's not like there's 2 souls.
No.
Okay, and now you had to come forward. Why did you have to come forward?
because she's always had a longing. It would happen so quickly. So she had a longing for where where she came from, and I wanted to come through to let her know that we are here. We love her.
And the previous soul was too afraid. You're saying
too afraid,
but she's still very afraid. How can you help her with that?
So throughout the years, I think she has picked up on fear journeys. She's picked up on other people's fears as well, their emotions, and she carried them with her. Take her mother, for example, the very fearful person. And because she's such a beam of light, open to receiving energies, bad or good, she takes energies and she holds on to them.
Where in the body does she hold on to it?
She holds a lot of energies on top, on the back. It's a wonder she can still walk.
She's carried quite a heavy load, right?
She is. So she needs to let go. So she needs to be strong and know that her purpose here is not to carry everyone else's energies. It is to walk in her own.
So can you help her to release that? We want her to move forward, fleet-footedly,
Yes.
so she can become the person that she needs to be to make this change in this world.
Yes, we can.
What does that look like energetically?
Taking all the dark energies that are stuck. Stuck. And stuck.
Yes. Yeah. And then where does that go when it's released?
Back to source.
Okay, and source can transmute that, right?
Correct.
For healing.
Correct.
Okay, and that's actually how simple healing is, isn't it?
It is. We think, oh my goodness. So the humans think that you need to do this and that and that and that. It's not. It's just feeling the energy and just releasing it.
Just moving energy.
Just moving it.
Yes.
Once you can capture that gift of moving energy away from your body, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Can people just visualize it all?
Correct.
Okay. What if they can't visualize?
Feel it.
Like viscerally or emotionally, or how?
Feel it as a wave. Or as a sensation, whether it's like a wind.
Yeah.
It's energy, you're moving it.
Okay. Beautiful. So why does she have such a fear of death? Specifically the past year. She doesn't want to let go. And specifically her own death, it seems.
She has grown a lot of attachments over her life.
You talk people-wise, as in people she doesn't want to let go of.
People, I think, and some rooting to the planet. So she needs to allow herself to know that even in death, there is life.
Yes.
And that when that day comes, which is a very long time from now, she will come back home and understand that her mission has been fulfilled.
Can you give her a glimpse of what happens when one dies? So she might not fear it.
Sure.
What does that look like?
So when that time comes, we will be there.
What do you look like?
Tall. I've got beautiful smile. Nice long hair. Perfectly white. That's how we like it.
Why white?
It is a sense of it reminds us of our higher self.
Yes.
Of us being fulfilled, of us being enlightened. So having the brilliant white is just a reminder of it.
Yes, the purity.
Correct.
And she will see you.
She will see me. She'll see all of us. And she'll see whoever is closest to her at that time.
Yes. And then what happens after that?
And she moves on. She comes back home and we move on. We've got lots of work to do.
Yes. Does she go back to the Pleiades then, or go back to source, or how does that work?
She can come back home.
Yeah.
We can continue life on our planet for a bit. till the next mission starts.
Yes. Okay, so she's on a mission on this planet then.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else about her mission on this planet?
And there's a big awakening happening throughout the world,
Mm.
and we know that. But what is alarming is that some people are taking the awakening and trying to capitalize on that, which wasn't the purpose of it.
Yes. It's like spiritual ego, right?
Correct. We
Mm.
need people to be fully in the light, and we need us to be able to move to the 5-dimensional realm.
But people are constantly asking me, when is this going to happen? But I always tell people, if we are not in unity consciousness and unconditional love, we are not going to get there. And we're not there.
It's already happening.
Mm.
It is happening. It's whether you are ready for it or not.
Yeah. But it seems
You can see that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting more violent. People are getting restless all over the world.
Mm.
You can see with the latest earthquakes,
with
the floods, even in South Africa, it's starting to affect you.
Yes, with the floods. Yes.
You're not safe by any means. It's going to happen everywhere. And it's already happening. So what we are doing is we're purging out the dark. We have to purge before we can lift.
What do you mean purging? Is it from the earth itself or the actual people on the earth? Like, for instance,
people on the earth,
Yeah.
earth itself,
Yeah.
it's all being purged out so that we are able to ascend up.
Okay, but it seems so. What about like the one in Turkey? There's a lot of children that died. I mean, is that also a purging, or do those people have contracts?
That was their life contract.
What would that contract be?
The purpose of those contracts was to either awaken people around the globe or darken. Once you darken, you're out. Once you're light, you lift.
But how does that event awaken people all over the earth?
They need to either be awakened that things are changing and that you're not living in this reality that you think you're living in. Okay, things like this are happening for a reason. It's not just a natural disaster. It's been put in place to happen. Those buildings crumbling, it was done for purpose. What has happened there? They have found out that a lot of people stole money or did it illegally, and that's either going to create a lot of anger there, or it's going to open up a lot of people's eyes and minds, and they can decide to awaken or not.
Yes. Okay, so it's like an exposure, disclosure kind of
Correct.
thing. Okay.
Big time.
But how does a flood or an earthquake actually result in that?
How does it?
How does a flood or an earthquake disclose or expose something like that? Corruption, for instance.
Well, look at the war between Russia.
Yeah.
There you can see that it's already opening up people's minds to the actual truth with what they have done and what they have kept away from everyone. So natural disasters is like a massive awakening. When you think of walking somewhere and something bumps you or whatever, jolts you awake, this is what we're trying to achieve. And all those souls have contracts, and they know that it is for the higher purpose.
Yes. Okay. So it's kind of like a tower moment in tarot, like when people fall from the tower. It changes everything.
Yes.
Eventually for the good.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. So anything else from her Pleiadian essence, or can I continue with the higher self questions?
You can continue.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. So question for the higher self was, what is there anything else about the fear and the anxiety? Anything else you would like to tell her?
She needs to know that everything she's experienced now is something of the past. She needs to move forward. I have helped release a lot of it.
Yes.
Now she needs to just trust that she is walking the right path. She needs to step into the light and breathe in the light, and that needs to be a daily practice.
Yes. Okay, and is that a kind of meditative practice or going into nature, or how does that look practically?
Nature, meditation, as long as she spends time with herself.
Time. Okay, so freedom to be with herself, give back
Correct.
to self, honor the self.
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else about her purpose, work-wise, teaching? You said, right? Anything else about that?
So, regardless of what she is doing now, ultimately, she will be teaching in the next 5 to 10 years.
Mm.
But she needs to just receive all the messages that we are sending her way and apply it to her teachings. So, if we have any advice for her, it would be to start a journal
Yes.
and write down all the messages and interpret it through so that she can give it through to her students.
Yes. Okay, but she's saying she's still not trusting her interpretation. You're saying that she can just trust the first gut feeling, right?
Yes.
Or what? Anything else she needs to know?
Every message coming through, she needs to know it's from us. It's divinely placed there for a reason.
Okay, but how would she know the difference between that and the ego, for instance?
She knows her ego very well. Okay, so she needs to know that the ego is going to try and loop that message for her to different scenarios. Whereas if she receives the message and she feels at peace, know that it is true.
Okay, and it's that first message, right?
Correct.
So the ego will take it around, round in the mind for 2 weeks and go back to the
Correct.
first answer anyway, right? Okay. Okay, is there anything about her son's life purpose and how she can help him?
He's a special little one, that. Oh, goodness. Yes, he's got a very good life purpose, yeah. And it is to bring about unity.
Yes.
He's a very calming boy, very calming, a very calming soul.
Yeah.
So she needs to try and be calmer around him so that he can move fully into that space.
Yeah.
The more you are angry around him or get short with him, that the less likely it is that he can fully move into that space, and he'll have issues along the way trying to find that space for himself.
Okay, but she needs to lead by example, right?
Correct.
And how can she be more at peace, more calm?
To be at peace with herself.
In which
That
way?
is her problem.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to know that she is safe and she is guided and she is where she needs to be right now, and be at peace with that so that she can be peaceful around him.
Yes. Is there anything in her brain that you could maybe rewire, letting go of those stories from the past, the unsafe situations? Could you do something else for her?
I can box him.
Yes. What does that look like?
Okay. So I will box him for her. And I will put all those loopy, oh goodness, loopy thoughts into the box.
Yeah.
But also those past traumas that she keeps jumping back to for I don't know what more reasons, suffering.
Yes.
I will put them into the box.
Mm.
Now I'm going to lock it.
Yes.
Because she doesn't need to be there again.
No.
She can move forward.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so that's gone now, right?
Correct.
And the brain can be more unhindered, just to be more free flowing now, right?
Correct. Full of love, full of joy, full of peace.
Okay. Okay, and why did her father and her father's dad visit her after their death?
Well, it was a situation of, as her grandfather is her spirit guide, as she wants to say. She can call him grandfather,
Yeah.
He was at a life review, and her father was there too. And collectively, they decided that perhaps a healing would take place if they had come and seen her. They didn't anticipate the fear that would be triggered by it. Perhaps it was too early. She was too young for it. But that was the purpose of it.
So who was needed to be healed? Them or her? Her. Okay.
Correct.
What does she need to understand around that? Is there something she needs to let go?
She needs to understand that whatever had happened up until that point was all part of her life contract. It was a scene that we created, scenes for her to feel those emotions. And sometimes it happens that people get trapped within certain emotions, or those emotions leach onto the body. And because she didn't have a safe environment where she could release it,
Yeah.
like talk to someone or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
she's carried it throughout.
Oh, okay. What
her
is the
adulthood.
emotion? Is it like a fear situation, or what is the emotion?
It is hurt.
Hurt.
Correct.
In which way hurt?
Emotional hurt. So she's hurt, just sad.
By them when the dad was still on Earth, or by that specific event when they?
By those events, yeah. It's just a sad, hurt emotion
Okay.
that she carries around.
Do you need to release that for her today, or has it been resolved?
Okay.
Where does that sit in the body? You're saying it leaches onto the body, right?
Yeah, it actually sits around about here.
Okay. Can you release that for her, please?
Yes.
When will she notice a difference with all of these releases being done today?
She should feel better within about a week.
Okay. Is there any way you can accelerate that for her? Why does it need to be in a week?
I can try.
Okay.
There's just so much. And her body is going to feel a bit out of balance while it realigns. But once it's realigned, it's going to be very powerful.
Yes. And she said also her jaw, she's had it for the last 5 years. It seems her jaw is in a lot of pain, and shoulder pain. What is happening with the jaw?
So because of the emotions that she's been carrying, and she has nowhere to release it, she kind of just holds on to it. So when she's sleeping at night, it's all sitting here.
But why does it manifest in the jaw specifically?
Perhaps because she's not talking about any of it, right? She's just keeping it all in. So she seldom says that she's angry, seldom says that she's sad. She's a loner when it comes to expressing emotions.
Would it be healthy for her to maybe talk to a counselor on a regular basis just to get it out, right?
She could do that. She can talk to a counselor. She can talk to her spirit guides or even her guardian angel.
Or the journaling or whatever.
Correct. We're all here to listen and help.
Okay. And is there a reason why my jaw had to start hurting on Monday? I'm assuming that has something to do with her, right?
So she actually did ask us to make sure that you know that she's coming.
Well, that message was received.
We then thought it was only last night that she had written in the book about her jaw.
Okay. So can you help me also just to let go of that, knowing it's not mine, right? It is hers, and I know she's here.
Hers.
Okay,
correct.
wonderful.
It's not yours.
Okay, thank you. But this seems to happen with a lot of other clients as well. Was it a similar request from them?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's you just feeling their energy, whether it would be the aggression or whatever. But when it is a bodily symptom, it is definitely the client that would like you to know that they are coming.
Okay.
And make that connection before.
Okay. But also maybe so they can make me feel how they're feeling, so I can help them better maybe in the session. Or
Correct.
Okay, and that kind of comes down to what Nadine also has when she, this whole empath kind of boundary energies in a crowd. Is it similar to that kind of concept? Is the boundaries not strong enough?
Correct. And that's why we said that she needs to just ask.
Yes, with the shielding, right?
With the shield, and that will be good enough for her to then move freely into the crowd.
Okay. Okay, and is that the jaw situation? Could you please just release that for her too? Maybe or does she need to speak to someone about it, or is it kind of?
I can release some of the pain.
Yes, please, because it does seem it's almost debilitating. I don't know how she can deal with this. Because now that I know how it feels, can't eat in the mornings. It's incredible. Toothache is some of the worst ache I've ever felt in my life.
It's amazing what the body holds on to.
Yeah, but why is it that human beings struggle so with emotions and having to release them? It seems to be crippling us.
It's the dark lesson to learn here on earth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are caged with our emotions. It's the one thing that we cannot let go of in order to ascend. Whether it's anger, or whether it's sadness, whether it's the ego, or whether jealousy, or whatever the emotion is, we tend to hang on to it. A lot of people do. I mean, you can be angry at someone for years, and that just keeps everyone back. You keeping that person back, and you're keeping yourself back.
Is there any practical way people can release that then? Kind of what we were doing today, or anything else about that?
They need to just be able to decipher that this is emotion. Emotion is not the be all and end all.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to make sure that our emotions don't get stuck in our minds. So just feel the emotion and let it go.
Okay. Okay, so you're
And
saying...
don't hold on to your grudges and your anger, because at the end of the day, it's already a scene that's happened.
Okay. Okay, you're saying her jaw will improve now, right?
Correct. And so she jaws.
Sorry?
So she jaws.
Okay. Okay, and she's only been in Cape Town for 3 days, but she feels much calmer. Why is this?
She's moved out of the dark density of where she lives. Unfortunately, there's a lot of darkness around there.
Oh.
There's a lot of trouble that will be coming in those areas.
In which way?
Unfortunately, due to greed and the crises that this country is experiencing, it's going to be flaring up there, and it's like a ticking time bomb.
In which way will it flare up? That's Johannesburg, to be specific, right?
Johannesburg and Pretoria.
What will flare up there?
Protests, definite protests. And it's going to feel very chaotic soon, unfortunately.
Is it because of the energy crisis?
The energy crisis, but everything really.
Yeah.
People are tired of not being able to survive or not being able to just live a basic life in this country. So due to that, there's a lot of dark energies flowing around there. So when she moved over this side, regardless of you guys having the same kind of issues down here, it's just a bit more open flowing.
Does she need to relocate?
We would suggest for her to relocate. I can see that they have thought about it, but they have blockages because of attachments to certain family people. But they need to know that in order for themselves to progress and to step fully into their life purpose, they need to make the decision just to relocate.
Yeah.
It's they will still have access to those people.
Yes, because I mean we can communicate so easily with anyone all over the world at any time. So
Correct. It's
and maybe the
also,
distance will be a good thing as well.
they need to understand that what they also feel is a form of unwillingness to let go from their people's parts, so their family parts, and then they will make them feel bad.
Yes. And where do they need to move to?
They need to move preferably somewhere where it is not too warm and not too cold, but it could be up in Europe, although I wouldn't move there right now because there are a lot of bad things coming that side.
Which way bad things coming?
Due to the war with Russia and Ukraine, what's happening in England at the moment is that slowly but surely their government system is falling apart. So I wouldn't go up into those areas. Italy, unfortunately, is also seeing very bad things of money situations are going to be really bad. They're going to go into a recession. So for them, I would move more to Australia's side, the island side, somewhere where it's a bit more open and free.
Yes. Okay. So it seems everywhere has their problems, their troubles, right? Anything else about Europe?
There is going to be a big change in Europe. Big light. I can see massive beams over Europe at the moment. But that is just to bring forth and to help those ascend. But there is a lot of difficulties coming towards Europe soon.
Okay, so it's kind of those chaos moments in order for people to wake up, right?
Correct.
Is there anything about you saying South Africa? It's mostly Joburg, Pretoria, anywhere else in South Africa?
Well, that is the main area where chaos is going to start going about. It's quite sad. It's not going to last very long, but it is going to have an impact on the country again.
How will that impact the country?
Financially, but also emotionally, because it's going to be quite violent.
With the protests?
Correct.
But what will happen with this energy crisis? Because it seems like we are all half the day we don't have electricity now.
If only they would open their eyes to see.
What is the truth?
The truth is that systems have been given. It has been shared how we can quickly change the energy crisis in the country. but because of the greed, they're just not allowing us to do it.
Okay. So, but are you saying, is there enough electricity as it stands now?
There
or-
should be.
Okay, but it hasn't been generated because the money's been squandered.
Squandered. Terrorist attacks against your power utility supply.
Oh,
You've
it's been
got gangs.
destabilized. Yes.
Correct. So there's a lot going on at the moment.
And what do people need to do? Do they need to generate their own electricity? How can we get out of this? Because obviously the government won't save us.
If you have the ability to put solar on, you need to do that. If you want to stay in the country for now, that's the only way you're going to generate electricity for the long term.
Yes.
Those that have the generators at the moment might not be the best practice, let's say in a few months to come, because we might run out of fuel or anything like that, because if everyone's using generators, the fuel's not going to last.
That's not free energy
Correct.
anyway, right? Okay,
So right now, solar is our best way to go in this instance.
Yes, which is quite expensive. Most people can't put up solar panels and.
Correct.
Okay, anything else about that? Anything else for Nadine?
No.
Okay, and what about after she watched Natasha's one session on my channel regarding the pyramids and the scattered light workers, she got the chills. Did that lead her to this very, monumental energy?
Yes, we've done this before. We've aligned things for her before, and this was divinely aligned to help her.
Okay, to help her with what?
With this exact process, as we could see her struggling.
So did she need to come here to
Yes.
come and see me in order to be able to know that she is basically a channel and she can connect?
Correct.
Okay. And then what was the point of seeing this? She saw that clear energy circle in front of her that when she was working, that almost knocked her off her chair. What was that?
That was just how can I say it? An energy channel.
Yes.
Because at that time she was a little bit more open. She could see the energy channel a bit more clearly. But it was nothing to make her afraid or harm her. It was just an energy channel that popped up.
What do you mean an energy channel? What does that mean?
Through this energy channel, she has access to allow better energies into her. So if she had to move forward to the energy channel and touch it, she would be able to allow rapid healing into her body, rapid channeling. It's very powerful.
Okay, so she should pay attention next time.
Correct.
And how would she be able to manifest that again? Should she manifest that again?
She can just ask for us to release the energy channel.
Okay, and then you would open up that kind of almost crystal ball kind of thing, and she would be able to receive information or heal herself or heal others.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else about that?
No.
And what is there anything about her kind of health, her body? What food is best suited for her? Is her body healthy?
Her body is very healthy. I think she's done a good job. It wasn't at one stage, but I think she's done a good job. She needs to keep doing what she's doing and just stay away from any wheat products, white wheat products.
What does that do to her?
It just does not work with her specific DNA. Okay, so she needs to just stay away from that, but she has done a good job.
When you say DNA, is that kind of earthly DNA, as in her ancestors lived in a certain area and they didn't eat too much wheat?
Correct. So what they've done now with the food, especially the white wheaty foods, it's been modified so much that it's just not working with the body as it should. Some people don't feel it, but because she feels quite intensely, she will then feel immediately when those foods don't work.
Okay, so it's just too processed. Just doesn't the
It's
body
too
doesn't want
processed,
to.
too refined.
Yes. Okay, so she can cut that out.
Correct.
Okay, anything else about food or
No.
exercise? And why does her ears buzz often?
So she has the ability to listen. So we have in the past tried to talk to her, but when she's in a state of panic and fear, she closes it off, but the buzzing will continue because the channel has already been opened.
Yes. When was the channel open?
That channel was opened when she was about 12.
Okay, why that age?
Because at that age, you a bit clearer. Your mind's not filled with life and, wanting to become this or that or earn money or whatever the case is.
Okay.
It's quite open.
It's open.
So for us to talk, you would listen.
Yes. Okay, and how should she receive this channel? You're saying she can hear, she can feel. What is the best way?
So for her is to sit and meditate in silence and allow us and ask us to please release and talk.
And she would hear that.
Correct.
As in audially or
correct.
Okay,
she's heard our whispers, she's smelt our scents,
Mm.
but she just needs to trust that we are not there to harm her in any way. It is just us doing our job
Well,
to deliver our messages.
Yeah, well, she knows you now, right? So it's not something that's foreign.
Yes.
She's now met you, and she knows you are her,
Correct.
and for her, not against her.
Exactly.
And why does she get dizzy often?
It's just a frequency. So if she is walking out and she's walking to a different frequency, it will affect her body. She is highly sensitive.
Is there anything she needs to do to not maybe feel dizzy?
Perhaps she can ask for a cloak of protection over her body so that she doesn't have that intense feeling with the energies. It will maybe help her.
It diffuses it a bit.
Correct.
Right? And why does she see light droplets when she's exposed to sunlight?
Again, it's just seeing past the third dimension. So she does it often. She doesn't notice it. She will see her shapes and her lights. It's just kind of seeing past the third dimension a little bit.
Yes.
But it's nothing that will harm her.
Yes, and why was she shown that life, with the debt collector when she went, that past life, and she felt like she was alone. She didn't deserve to be in a relationship because she was better at taking than giving. And
because she's still living some of those aspects right now. Okay, she's still walking alone. She doesn't believe that she deserves the love that is there to be given to her through her partner or family members, and she blocks it off, and she's still walking that path alone, and she needs to open up to it.
Okay, but her heart's open also, right?
Correct.
Okay, anything else she needs to do to receive better? Because it seems she's giving all the time and it's not mutual reciprocation once again.
She needs to know that she is deserving to receive, and that's it.
She's worthy, she's deserving.
Correct.
Okay, and it seemed like this man had quite good techniques, to like release his anger. He was chopping trees, punching trees, walking through the nature, releasing the darkness of the world. Why did you show her that?
Because she needs to know to let go of those type of emotions and just release them, whether it is in any form. I mean, she can chop up wood now if she wants to.
Chopping away at the anger. I thought that was quite a good concept.
Correct. Whatever is going to help her. So she needs to find whatever will help her. Just release that anger and the frustration, because it doesn't serve her body.
Yes. Okay.
So she literally just needs to find some hobbies.
It seemed like after the war in that life, people also didn't want to release power. Why was that information given?
It was relevant because we're reliving it again. Unfortunately, no one's learned their lesson. We're trying to, obviously, and that is why the new earth had to be created, because this is also a loophole.
Yes, it's a karmic cycle. It's a cycle, just
correct.
Stuck on a wheel of karma.
We've spent many lives trying to release it, but unfortunately, it's just too hard. The collective in that density is just too many. So it would be easier for us to just have those that are willing to move up to 5D.
Yes, but where is the collective now? I've heard it's in upper 4D.
It's a jump between the two still. I wouldn't say that they're all up in 4D.
Yes.
A lot of them are still in 3D.
Yes.
And sometimes they jump to 4D, but not all of them.
And where's Nadine at the moment?
Nadine needs to just release her things so that she can move up to 5D. Okay. She's had that ability her whole life.
Okay, but she's kind of still in this limbo state, right?
Correct.
Between the third and the fifth.
Correct.
Okay, anything else how she can make the jump? quicker or easier?
Well, I think we've done a lot of work today, which is
Good.
going to help her do
Good.
that.
How will
She
she?
needs to spend a lot of time with herself and just bring in the light. That's the most important, and be present within that light. That's it.
Yes. Okay, why was that book shown on Egypt about the hidden technologies, the pyramid for healing, the Sphinx, and some pyramids were being activated, it seems, north of the Sphinx. Why was that information given?
Because we're busy changing,
Mm-hmm.
so we wanted to show her that it is busy being done because it's part of the purpose of the collective star seeds and the people bringing light to earth. And so you need to know that it is being activated.
Mm.
I can see it clear as day now.
Mm.
It is a beautiful thing. And for any instant healing, just see yourself in the pyramid,
Mm.
absorbing the light, and you'll also have access to some of the technologies.
Okay. So we can just do those visualizations, right?
Correct.
We don't have to be all those pyramids actually being activated in Egypt, right?
They are.
And is the pyramid here in Cape Town, I understand, it's also been activated, right? The one
It is.
Lion's Head, is that correct?
Correct.
What does that help us with?
It's helping us bring about the light and bringing all the light workers together. It's the first stage.
Yes. Oh, like a beacon drawing
Correct.
people to this area.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else about that?
No.
Okay, so you're saying Nadine's body is aligned today, right? It's in balance.
Correct.
Okay. Is there any question I could have asked today that I didn't ask?
No.
Do you have any last messages for Nadine today?
She needs to understand that she is love. She's the essence of love and life. And she is here with a very important mission and purpose. And we want to support her to see it through. So whenever she needs access to us, she just needs to ask.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and why did she need the session today?
To heal.
Okay, her physical body,
Correct.
right? Okay,
And her mind.
How will she notice a difference after the session?
She will be lighter
Mm.
and she's going to see clearer. And she will have that presence that she so badly desires within her.
Yes. Okay. Any other messages for her today?
No.
Okay. Any message for me today?
We want you to know that you are doing a good job. We can see that you sometimes struggle with drawing people to you, and you need to let go of that. You need to let go of the blockage that you have in terms of saying that perhaps this isn't what I should be doing, or I'm not doing it right, because you are, and they are on their way.
Yeah, because I suddenly had a bit of a dry spell, which I was very busy for years, and now suddenly there's a dry spell.
Correct.
Why is that?
Because the activations are at different times. So unfortunately, healing takes place at different times, especially with individuals like these. But you need to realize that the work you are doing is very important, and perhaps look at different ways to get or reach these people. I wouldn't say YouTube, but perhaps you need to look at partnering up with some of the people that you've met along your journey.
Okay.
And those partnerships, you guys will help each other build up from there.
Yes. Okay. To
And
get the
reach
word
more
out.
people.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Any other way I can draw more people to see me?
You need to travel.
Where specifically? Anywhere specifically?
You need to travel up, travel through to Joburg. Perhaps you can put together a few sessions there. But more importantly, I would say that you need to travel through to America to go meet up with the crowd there and from there build your base.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Anything else for me today?
No.
Okay. Are we complete today? Any other message for anyone else, or are we complete?
We complete.
Thank you very much. Awake, wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. How do you feel?
Good.
How was that experience?
Amazing.
How did it feel?
Good. Sure.
How
Yeah.
was it? Like, what did it feel like? Because it seems like you are kind of like a channel, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I felt all that energy in my body. It was crazy.
So
Now
you
that
must
I'm
be
awake, my body feels aching.
Yeah, it's like buzzing, right?
Yeah.
Sure. How long did that feel like? Long time, short time?
Timeless.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Like long or short? Just like 10
Okay,
minutes
well,
or like an hour and a half, something like that?
no, maybe like 30 minutes.
I think it's about an hour and a half,
Yeah.
hour and 45,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was
And
good.
what stands out to you? What do you remember?
I remember being said hi to by the Pleiadians.
Pleiadian,
Yeah,
yes.
for sure. They were so friendly. Yeah.
It's funny because when I saw you, I just saw Pleiadian. Like when you were sitting there.
Yeah.
And then of course it's coming through and I'm like, of course, like how what else would it be?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was quite good. And
Yes. That was cool with the story when you were 8, right?
100% makes a lot of
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
But also all these 8s are like everywhere.
Everywhere.
In your birth chart when you were 8, that
Correct.
infinity sign with the tarot, it's
Yes.
all there. And like
Yeah.
I said, 8 is good
Yeah.
fortune, basically, or
For
abundance.
sure.
Abundance, basically.
Abundance.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
Yes.
And then, yeah, definitely felt the healing.
Yes, your heart will feel much better. Everything will feel better
Yeah.
now. The clenching, the jaw, all of that stuff. It can go now.
Yeah, correct.
But do you see how easy healing is? They do it so effortlessly.
Exactly.
You can heal the whole body. It's just moving energy.
Moving energy, yeah.
That's all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just such profound concepts. I mean, these kinds of things need to be taught to people, and people don't need to go to hospital. They need to do this because we can heal our own bodies. We have
Our own
miraculous
bodies.
healing.
Yeah.
And also the stuff about the pyramids was quite interesting.
It was.
Yeah. And just creating your own pyramid, because I believe we don't need to go to Egypt. I was in Egypt in November.
Oh, were
you? I don't
you?
believe we need to go to Egypt to freaking...
To feel it.
Don't. We can build our own pyramid. We are a pyramid. Our body is a miraculous healing.
Correct.
Yeah. And what else stands out to you?
Definitely the situation around the family. I can see it very clearly now.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And also just everything we were speaking about before.
Yeah.
All like beautifully woven into this whole session.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to look forward to, feeling better. And what also stood out was the life purpose.
Yes, the teaching, which you already knew, right? But now you can
I felt it,
connect to that channel and bring forward the information. Because we can all channel these parallel aspects of the self.
Yeah.
But tapping
that was absolutely great. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you feel like this is something that you would like to share, like on my channel?
You can share it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, you can watch it if you want. Of course, I can cut anything, but I think this kind of information will really help people.
Yeah.
It's very practical, going to
in terms of healing and things like that.
And connecting with the higher aspects of the self. It's so easy. Like, just ask, just listen, just look. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Just believe, actually.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Because when the frequency of believing is the frequency of allowance. It means you allow the information in.
Yeah.
If you don't trust, it's resistance. You can't get anything in. It's like a rock. Like trying to get into a rock. Yeah.
Correct. Because we've been brainwashed in a sense of this is what life is. And it's not.
Yeah.
It absolutely is not.
Yeah. And the past life, how did you feel about that? The one with the debt collector.
It must be very happy, to be honest. Yeah. It was a bit doomy and gloomy. I think it was not long after the First World War.
Yes.
It was very dark and...
Yeah. Didn't really like it. Isn't people also didn't really like... I mean, can you imagine the worst job to have? No one would like you, right?
No.
It's like a tax collector or like...
Yeah, exactly. And I think, shame, the escape was the countryside.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also a message to you, right?
Correct, is to get out, yeah.
Because that's also what I was feeling when I was talking to her. I was like, this chick is not grounded at all. She needs to come put a freaking food. Like, literally, if you go to Camps Bay and go and sit on a rock and just lie on that rock, that'll ground you like crazy. Yeah. And actually, I also need to do it. So maybe that's probably me.
Oh, my
yeah.
No, it's crazy.
Okay, so anything else about the session? I think that stands out. Anything else that you can remember?
Well, definitely, I think my biggest thing is just to let go, and I have received the healing. It's definitely something I can remember.
And I was like, there's nothing holding me back.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm thinking I need to let go. I'm like,
Yeah.
But there's nothing really.
Now you have to run. Yeah, now
Correct.
you can run.
Yeah.
You don't have to be held back.
Yeah.
And do you feel like this is something you would like to do again, another session, maybe in the future?
For sure.
You know,
No,
So
absolutely.
maybe when I'm in Joburg or when you're here again.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I'll let you know if I'm down here again.
Yes, and I'll let you know if I'm in Joburg.
100%.
Apparently I need to go to Joburg to do these sessions. But apparently there's going to be a riot in Joburg, so I'm like, I don't want to go there. That was interesting.
Well, keep in touch with me. I'll let you know what's going to happen there.
But I mean, it makes sense because I think humanity and specifically South Africa are like at a boiling point right now. Like I feel like the rage is just out of control.
You can see it.
People are like, this is not okay. We can't
pop.
take it.
I don't think we'll be affected like as an individual.
Yeah.
But people around us will
be. Exactly.
Correct.
Same thing with the previous riots. Because the thing is, it's like there's wars going on in this country. Even Khayelitsha. That's 5 kilometers away from me is Khayelitsha. That's an actual war zone right now.
That's crazy.
But I don't feel it. But you see, we're all different. It's like we're at the same place. But we're at different
levels.
Exactly. Different frequencies.
It's absolutely crazy to see that. And you can see it now more than anyone else. They wouldn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see it.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting concept.